Hi, my name's Jim Corcoran, and this is Ray Sikora, and we are co-founders of Plant Peace Daily.
We had so many choices of what we could have demoed today, but what we chose to demo is the green smoothie. It's simple. You get your greens.
The world's most Nutrilicious green smoothie.
So the ingredients that we're going to use for today's version, we're going to have greens, and it will be the equivalent of about one large bunch of kale or collards, 4 or 5 cherry tomatoes, 1 apple, 1 lemon, about 2 or 3 carrots, about a 1.5-inch piece of ginger. We'll probably use 2 of these papaya spears, strawberries, watermelon, sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, cinnamon, and fresh or frozen bananas. Today I think we'll use frozen. So I love to use wild greens in our smoothie. JC loves wild greens in our smoothie. This one is one that I picked this morning, and this one's one that I picked this morning. This is lamb's quarters. And if you garden, you probably know lamb's quarters. Dandelion, everyone knows. So you can either go to the store and you can spend $2.50 to buy a bunch of dandelion, or you can go cruise around outdoors until you find dandelion. It's good to find it where it isn't next to a road, where it's not near any pesticide use, and they're really widely available all over the country. Also, pick the ones that don't have spines on the back. The younger, the better. The smoother the back, the better. You can also find other greens that I wasn't able to find this morning, like purslane, nettles. Nettles are fabulous in a smoothie, and even though they would sting you as you're picking them, pick low on the stem and they won't sting you with that stinging nettle. Or once they're, you can use gloves, and then once they're in the smoothie, they don't sting at all. They're great.
Everything that you need to make a smoothie is probably already in your house. A cutting board, a nice sharp knife, you can any size of them. You can use any kind of blender. We're going to be using the Vitamix blender today because it's much more powerful. But for 5 years I was using a garage sale blender that I'd gotten, and it worked great. You just have to spend a little bit more time and remove some of the roughage out of the foods. One of the best bases for any green smoothie is a watermelon, and I prefer organic, as I try to get everything that we have in our smoothies organic. And I'm going to show you a very simple way to preserve those watermelons so that you can use it for many smoothies over the course of about a week. The reason that I cut it at an angle like this is that so the top can be placed back on it, and when you leave it in your refrigerator it doesn't have a tendency to fall off and cause problems.
So at this point, if you're using watermelon, it's good to just blend it and make room, because the watermelon's going to blend down too. Now I'm going to add the ginger, and you want to be sure that you cut crosswise across the little ginger hairs, because you do not want a hairy smoothie. You're going to add just a few slices of apple. Depending on what fruits you have, you may want to add a whole apple. Okay, now I'm going to add 4 cherry tomatoes, some kale, some of just the leaves from the lamb's quarters. You don't need the stem in there. Just take the most nutritious parts, which would be the leaves. A lettuce leaf. I have red leaf. You can use romaine. You can use anything. And dandelion greens. I'm going to use about 5 leaves. You can add more of that if you want. Kale and chard. Here I have about a handful. This is going to end up being the equivalent of about 1 bunch of greens. Next, I'm going to add a few spears of papaya. If you're using a regular blender and not a Vitamix, you're going to want to cut smaller pieces. You notice I put a whole lemon in there and took just the zest off, but you want to cut it up a little bit if you're not using a Vitamix or another powerful blender. I think I'm going to put all of those strawberries in. There wasn't that much. Seeds is to preference. You know, maybe an eighth of a cup of sunnies, and an eighth of a cup of pumpkin seeds, a very approximate eighth of a cup, and cinnamon, which I just kind of sprinkle some on top. It's about the equivalent of about probably a little over a teaspoon. And in the summer, you're going to want to use more frozen fruit. So when fruit is on sale and perfectly ripe, get bananas, berries, whatever is locally available or is on sale and is organic, and put it in the freezer so you have it available. That's true year round. But in the summer, we'd love to put frozen fruits in because it makes a nice cool smoothie. Okay, now I'm going to blend it up, and then I'm going to just check on the consistency. So you'll notice, you see how it's kind of sludgy? It went bloop, bloop, bloop like lava. That means you need more liquid. That can be either water or more watermelon. So we're going to add more watermelon. You want to be sure to not blend it too long, no more than about 30 seconds, because if you blend it too long in a high-powered blender, it'll start to heat up, and you don't want to heat up all these wonderful nutrients.
One of the reasons that we include seeds and nuts in our smoothie, in fact, we don't have any seeds here right now, but I mean any nuts right now, but we do like to include nuts and seeds because they have fat and omega-3 oils, that type of thing. They help the absorption of phytochemicals in your body. So when you intake a fatty substance, you can have an increase of tenfold of the amount of phytonutrients that your body will absorb. So it's important that you add a seed or a nut to your smoothie. This is a great smoothie. Nice and sweet. It looks horrible, but it tastes divine.